A thief is living right in our own homes. It doesn't steal money or jewels. It steals things a million times more precious. It steals the name of the grandchild you love most, right as you're holding them in your arms. It steals the familiar road home you've traveled 1,000 times. It steals the memory of what you had for dinner last night, the promise you made, the very person you used to be. That thief is our brain, betraying us. I will never forget that fateful afternoon. As I held my 8-year-old grandson, a sudden, terrifying emptiness appeared in my mind. My throat tightened. Helplessness and panic washed over me. I saw the look in his innocent eyes begin to fill with a little confusion, wondering why his grandpa was silent for so long. In that moment, I understood. This isn't a senior moment. No. This is a red alert. A death knell for clarity. It's the first sign of memory loss, a one-way slide to becoming a burden on our family. The greatest fear for all of us. Before I reveal the first destroyer, let's be honest with each other for a moment. Have you ever felt that brain fog closing in? Ever struggled helplessly for a simple word that's teasing you from the tip of your tongue? If you have, be brave and leave the number 1 in the comments below. Let me know, let everyone know, that we are facing this battle together. After that day, I refused to surrender. I would not let that thief do as it pleased. I dove into a search, like a man digging for treasure, to find the map to protecting my brain health. And I found it. That map showed me that the cause isn't age. The cause is 7 silent, destructive habits that we are aiding and abetting every single day. These habits are fanning the inflammatory fire that ravages our brains, the root cause of cognitive decline and dementia. But this map also revealed an escape route. A path to the light. It is the secret to turning the tide. In this video, I will not only expose these 7 destroyers. I will give you 7 healing swaps, simple, powerful weapons for you to extinguish that fire, reclaim control, and build a fortress around your mind. This is your action plan for Alzheimer's prevention, starting today. And make sure you don't miss a single second. Because at the very end, as a reward for those who persevere, I will reveal a secret few have ever suspected. A forgotten wonder spice with the power to regenerate brain cells, sitting right there in your kitchen, and it costs less than a loaf of bread. Now, are you ready? Let's unmask the first destroyer, a sweet but vicious saboteur, hiding in plain sight on your breakfast table. Every morning, we open the door to a new day. And we often welcome it with a gift, something we believe will bring us energy and health. But do you know the story of the Trojan horse? A magnificent, beautiful gift, offered in peace, but hiding an army of destruction within. The first destroyer of our brain health is exactly like that. It arrives under the guise of a healthy breakfast. It is that sweet glass of fruit juice. That crispy, sugary bowl of cereal. Or those soft, white slices of bread we so often eat. I call them destroyer number 1, the morning sugar bomb. For years, I was a victim of this sweet lie. I used to think a glass of orange juice was the best way to get my vitamin C. But I never understood why, every single day around 10 a.m., a thick fog would descend upon my mind. I would find myself reading the same line over and over without understanding a word. I felt tired, irritable, and my only desire was for a strong cup of coffee. That is the consequence of the blood sugar roller coaster. When you feed your body that sugar bomb, your blood sugar skyrockets to its peak, then plummets without warning. That crash is the moment your brain cries out, starved for energy. It causes inflammation. It erodes your focus. And day by day, it is digging tunnels for the memory thief to come in and wreak havoc. But today, we stop that Trojan horse. We will not let it enter the gates. My healing swap, your first weapon, I call it the Brain Fortress Smoothie. Sounds grand, doesn't it? But it deserves the name, and it's faster to make than brewing a pot of tea. Take a handful of frozen berries, blueberries or strawberries are perfect. They are powerful antioxidant warriors, yet very low in sugar. A handful of fresh spinach, I promise you won't taste it, it's a silent health agent. A spoonful of almond butter for healthy fats, which help release energy slowly. And finally, a few spoonfuls of plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt for protein, to keep you full and your mind clear. It all takes just 2 minutes in a blender. You will have a rich, delicious smoothie that provides a stable and powerful source of fuel for your brain all morning long. No more crashes. No more brain fog. This is more than just a recipe. This is the first act of self-love of the day. It is the first brick you lay to rebuild your brain health fortress. This recipe I just shared, do you find it simple and helpful? If so, please help me by commenting with the number 1. If you find it a bit too complicated, please comment with the number 2, so I know to find even simpler solutions in future videos. Your feedback is priceless to me. But even when you have conquered breakfast, even when you have built the first wall of your fortress, there is another ghost, an even more cunning thief, waiting for you in your bedroom. It attacks when you are at your most vulnerable and least defended, in your sleep. Let's continue to find out what it is. If your brain could speak, if it could utter just one single plea to you each night, do you know what it would say? It wouldn't ask for anything grand. It would beg you, it would implore you for one thing only: please, let me rest. Please, turn off that light. No, not the light from your bedside lamp. This second destroyer is far more subtle. It is an invisible phantom, a blue ghost that radiates from the very things we hold in our hands every night. It is the smartphone, the tablet, or the television screen, glowing brightly in the darkness. We think it's a way to relax, to connect with the world before drifting off. But in reality, we are making a terrible mistake. That blue light is lying to your brain. It is screaming a false message: the sun is still up. Stay alert. It is not time to rest. And our poor brain, it believes that lie. It stops producing melatonin, the body's guardian of sleep. And just like that, we are robbed of deep sleep. Why is deep sleep an irreplaceable treasure? Because it is the only time of day when a silent sanitation crew inside our brain begins its sacred work. They travel to every corner, cleaning up all the toxic plaques, the protein waste that has accumulated after a long day of thinking and living. When that crew is forced to go on strike because of the blue light's lies, that waste piles up, night after night. That is the fertile ground where memory loss and Alzheimer's disease begin to sprout. Every sleepless night is another red carpet you roll out, inviting the memory thief into your home. I, too, was once a prisoner of the blue light. I thought reading the news on my tablet would make me wiser. But all I got in return were restless nights, and waking up the next morning feeling more tired and worn out than when I went to bed. I was firing my sanitation crew without even knowing it. And this is how I freed myself. This is the second healing swap for you. Create a sanctuary of peace for the last hour of your day. For that 1 hour, make your bedroom a screen-free zone. Let your phone charge in another room. Turn off the television. Instead, pick up a paper book. Feel the texture of the pages, the quietness of the written word. Play some soft, instrumental music. Or simpler yet, just sit and talk with your spouse about the day's small joys and sorrows. That small act is a priceless gift for your brain. You will be giving your sanitation crew the precious opportunity to heal, to regenerate, to cleanse the temple of your mind for a fresh new day. Now, let's be honest with ourselves. Do you often look at your phone or TV screen right before you go to sleep? If the answer is yes, please comment with the number 1. If not, I sincerely congratulate you. Please comment with the number 2. Don't worry, this is a safe place for us to share. But even if you have conquered the perfect night's sleep, even if your sanitation crew is working at full capacity, there is another, more dangerous trap waiting for you in the daylight. A trap that comes from the very place you think is the most comfortable and safe in your home. Let's discover it together, right now. Take a look around your home. Where is the place you feel the most comfortable? I'm willing to bet it's a chair. Perhaps it's the cozy armchair where you read the paper each morning. Or the familiar sofa where the family gathers to watch television. They are symbols of rest, of safety. But I am here to tell you a painful truth: those very chairs might be turning into the number one enemy of your clarity. This third destroyer isn't something you eat or something you do. Ironically, it is the act of doing nothing at all. I call it the comfort trap. Imagine the blood flowing through your body is a mighty river, carrying precious oxygen and nutrients to nourish the fertile land of your brain. When you sit down, that river begins to flow more slowly. And when you remain seated for more than an hour, that river almost becomes a stagnant river. The flow of blood and oxygen to your brain can decrease by up to 20%. Our brain is an incredibly demanding and greedy child. It requires a constant supply of fuel. When you choke off that river, your brain cells begin to starve. They can't communicate with each other. They can't form new memories. They are slowly suffocating in your comfort. I fell into this trap myself without even realizing it. After I retired, I started to write more. I could sit at my desk for 3-4 hours at a time, lost in words. I thought I was doing something good for my mind. But at the end of the day, my head felt as sluggish and stiff as my aching back. I was inadvertently starving my brain. And here is my healing swap, an act so simple you might laugh, but it holds the power to revive an entire river. Apply the golden 50-10 rule. It means this: for every 50 minutes you sit, force yourself to get up and move for 10 minutes. You don't need to do strenuous exercise. Just stand up. Walk around the room. Give yourself a good, long stretch. Go to the kitchen and pour a glass of water. Or step out onto the balcony and take a deep breath of fresh air. That small action is like breaking a dam. The river of blood will rush back, carrying a fresh surge of oxygen and life to every one of your exhausted brain cells. To help myself, I bought a very cheap egg timer. I set it for 50 minutes. And every time it rings, I know it's time to stand up and save my brain. Do you think you could apply this golden 50-10 rule to your daily life? If you think you can, please comment with the number 1. If you find it a bit difficult, please comment with the number 2. I would love to hear your thoughts. The river of blood in our body is crucial. But there is another river that is even more important, and that is the river of connection between people. And when that river runs dry, it leaves behind a desolate desert right in our minds. Let's continue to discover the fourth destroyer. When was the last time your phone rang? Not a sales call or a spam text. But a real call, from a friend, a relative, just to ask, "How are you today?" I know, as we get older, the world seems to get quieter. The gatherings become less frequent. The phone calls are fewer. The children are busy with their own lives. Sometimes, that silence brings peace. But when it stretches on for too long, that silence turns into an enemy. This fourth destroyer isn't a chemical, but an emotion: loneliness. This is no longer speculation. This is science. Neuroscientists call our brain the social brain, because it is designed to interact, to connect. A landmark study published by Harvard University, which followed thousands of seniors for over a decade, discovered an alarming fact: those who feel lonely have up to a 50% higher risk of developing dementia compared to those with strong social connections. 50%. That number haunted me. Why is that? Because when we are lonely, the brain releases more cortisol, a stress hormone. It's like an acid, silently eating away at our neural connections day after day, eroding the pathways to our memories. I read that study, and I felt as if they were writing about me during the years of the pandemic. The house became too big and too quiet. And I could feel cognitive decline creeping into my mind. I used to think, perhaps this is an unavoidable part of aging. But the Harvard study showed me a different truth. This is a battle we can fight, and a battle we can win. And this is how I fought back against that terrifying 50%. This is the fourth healing swap for you. Start the One Connection a Day campaign. It's not complicated. Pick up the phone and call an old friend you haven't spoken to in a long time. Don't just ask how they are, truly listen. Ask them about a fond memory you both shared. You will find that your memories are miraculously awakened in the process. Join a local club. Gardening, reading, chess, whatever you love. There, you will find kindred spirits. And learn to use technology as a friend. A video call with your grandchildren, seeing their smiles, hearing their chatter, that is the most powerful medicine against cortisol, the most refreshing water for a thirsty soul. Don't wait. Be the one who proactively creates your connections. Do you feel lonely sometimes? If you do, please leave the number 1 in the comments. If you feel you still have wonderful connections, please comment with the number 2. Remember, acknowledging our feelings is the first step toward healing and seeking connection. Connecting with the outside world is incredibly important. But there is another world, a miniature universe right inside our bodies, that if we ignore, all our other efforts will be for nothing. Let's continue to discover your second brain. Our mind, it's like a great tree. Memory is the branches reaching for the sky, and our emotions are the leaves and flowers. We spend our entire lives tending to that canopy, trying to keep it lush and green. But we have forgotten something. The strength of a great tree doesn't come from its leaves. It comes from a place we cannot see. It lies in the root system. That root system is hidden deep inside your body. It is our second brain, and it is being alarmingly forgotten. This is the fifth destroyer, a decaying root system, an abandoned gut garden. This is not just my metaphor. Dr. Michael Gershon, a brilliant scientist from Columbia University, known as the father of neurogastroenterology, proved that our gut contains more than 100 million nerve cells. That's more than in the spinal cord. It truly is a second brain. And did you know? Up to 90% of our serotonin, the chemical that brings feelings of happiness and peace to our minds, is not produced in the brain in our head. It is created in this second brain. When we eat too much processed food, too much sugar, and too little fiber, we are feeding an army of bad bacteria. They turn your gut garden into a toxic swamp, one that can no longer produce serotonin. Worse, they send inflammatory signals, toxic messages, straight up to the brain, contributing to that smoldering fire and causing brain fog. I experienced this myself. For a while, I was plagued by digestive problems. And I noticed something strange. During that entire period, my mood plummeted, and my memory became alarmingly poor. I thought the two were unrelated. But thanks to Dr. Gershon's research, I understood, my roots were sick, and the entire tree was slowly dying with them. And this is how I saved my garden. This is the fifth healing swap, a critically important campaign. Begin Operation Regrow the Garden. The goal is to bring back the good gardeners, probiotics. First, add probiotic-rich foods. A serving of plain yogurt each day is a wonderful start. Or a little sauerkraut with your meal is also excellent. Second, feed those good gardeners their favorite food, which is fiber, prebiotics. You can find it in abundance in oats, beans, apples, bananas, and green vegetables. A meal full of colorful plants is the greatest gift you can give to both of your brains. When the root system is healthy, the tree of your mind will sprout new leaves once more. Do you regularly pay attention to your gut health? If you do, please comment with the number 1. If this is a fairly new concept to you, please comment with the number 2. I would love to know where we are on this journey. But even if your garden is thriving again, even if your roots are strong, there is something even more fundamental than food, something every living creature needs. But if used incorrectly, it can become a silent poison to the brain. Let's explore the next destroyer together. Take a look at a raisin. What do you see? It's shriveled, small, and has lost its vitality. But do you remember what it used to be? It was once a plump grape, full of water, full of life. What turned that grape into a raisin? Dehydration. Now, take a look at your brain. This is exactly what is happening inside our skulls when we make the sixth deadly mistake, allowing our brain to shrivel up. This destroyer isn't complex. It is the most basic, most primal enemy, chronic dehydration. This is an undeniable scientific fact, published in countless medical journals, like the Journal of Nutrition. Our brain is 75% water. It's like a sophisticated sponge, needing to be soaked in water to function. When you allow your body to become dehydrated by just 2%, that sponge begins to shrink. The neural connections will sputter like a weak electrical current. You will feel headaches, dizziness, and an inability to focus, and you'll be inexplicably irritable. And here is the most dangerous part for those of us in our age group: the older we get, the less sensitive our body's sense of thirst becomes. We don't realize we're lacking water until the sponge has already begun to shrivel. I was a prime example of this mistake. I was plagued by mild headaches and dizzy spells in the afternoon. I just thought it was old age, or a side effect of my blood pressure medication. I took more painkillers. But things only got worse. During a routine checkup, after listening to my story, my doctor didn't prescribe another pill. He looked me straight in the eye and said something I will never forget: "Mr. Harold, this time, I'm not prescribing more medicine. I'm prescribing more water." It turned out, I had been unintentionally starving my brain of its most essential nutrient. And this is my healing swap, a ritual that completely changed my life. Perform the River of Life ritual every day. Rule number 1. Start your new day with a large glass of water, right after you wake up. Before coffee or tea. Think of it as a rain shower awakening your brain's forest. Rule number 2, always have a water bottle by your side. It is a visual reminder. The goal is to finish it and then refill it. Rule number 3, eat your water. Many vegetables, like cucumbers, celery, and fruits like berries, contain a lot of water. They are also a fantastic source of hydration. Make drinking water a conscious act of self-care. Let's be honest with each other. Right now, do you have a glass or bottle of water within arm's reach? If yes, please comment with the number 1. If not, please comment with the number 2. This is a gentle reminder for all of us. Now, your brain has been bathed in the river of life. It has been nourished by food, sleep, and relationships. But there is one final enemy, a subtle foe that is making our brains sluggish, even when we are resting. Let's move on to the final and most important destroyer. Every day, your brain stands at a fork in the road. One path is a familiar, worn trail, flat and easy to walk without thinking. This path is effortless. The other path is a little rougher. It requires you to pay attention, to find a new way, to clear away a few branches blocking the path. Which path do you choose? Your answer to this question will determine the fate of your memory in the next 10, 20 years. Because the final destroyer, the seventh destroyer, is the act of always choosing the easy path. I call it the lazy brain disease, otherwise known as passive entertainment. The number 1 time killer in this disease? The television. We sit in front of the screen for hours on end. Images, sounds just flow into our brains. We don't need to think. We don't need to imagine. We don't need to make an effort. We simply consume. The scientific principle at play here is called neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to change and reorganize itself. It follows an ironclad rule, a phrase that neuroscientists repeat again and again: use it, or lose it. When you don't challenge your brain, when you don't make it work, the neural connections become weak and die off. That rough, unbeaten path, because no one travels it, will gradually be overgrown with weeds and forgetfulness. This is the direct route to forgetfulness and an acceleration of memory loss. I must admit, there was a time I fell into that trap. It's just so easy to turn on the TV and let time slip away. But I felt my mind becoming more and more sluggish, more dull. I felt like I was aging faster. I had chosen the easy, flat path. And I was paying the price. And this is how I got back on the rougher trail. This is the final, healing swap, and it is your most powerful weapon. Become a brain gym enthusiast. Set aside at least 30 minutes every day to actively challenge your brain. Take out the newspaper and do the crossword puzzle or play Sudoku. Learn a new skill. Think you're too old to learn? Never. Learn to play a simple instrument on YouTube. Or download Duolingo and learn 5 new English words a day. Read a book on a subject you've never known about, history, astronomy, anything that sparks your curiosity. Play a game of chess with your grandchild. Every time you do something new and challenging, you are clearing a new path in the forest of your brain. You are building a more resilient, sharper, and more preventive brain. What is your favorite brain gym activity? Is it reading, playing chess, or solving puzzles? Please share in the comments below. I would love to learn more ideas from you all. Our journey is nearing its end. Together, we have unmasked 7 silent destroyers. We now hold 7 healing weapons in our hands. But I have not forgotten the promise I made to you at the beginning of this video. The ultimate weapon. A forgotten wonder spice with the power to protect and even regenerate brain cells, sitting right in your kitchen. Let's move to the final part to uncover this secret. Thank you. Thank you for persevering with me to the very end of this journey. It shows me that you truly care about your most precious asset. You are a warrior. And as I promised, a warrior deserves the ultimate weapon. The promise of a forgotten miracle, with the power to protect and even regenerate brain cells, sitting right in your kitchen. Are you ready? That miracle is not something exotic. It is a spice, brilliant yellow, as warm as the sun. It is turmeric. Yes, the very same turmeric we often use. But inside that yellow color is a miracle of nature, an active compound named curcumin. Thousands of scientific studies, published in the most prestigious journals, have proven that curcumin is one of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatory agents ever discovered. It is the downpour that most effectively extinguishes the smoldering fire in your brain. It helps clear away toxic plaques, protects neurons from damage, and promotes the formation of new brain cells. This is not a fairy tale. This is the healing power of nature, validated by science. So, how do you turn this into your daily weapon? It's very simple. Add a small pinch of turmeric powder to your stews, soups, or scrambled eggs. You can mix half a teaspoon of turmeric powder with warm water and a little honey to drink each morning. And here is my little tip, a secret that scientists discovered: always add a little black pepper. An active compound in pepper called piperine helps your body increase its absorption of curcumin by up to 2000%. A simple combination, yet it creates an extraordinary power. And so, our journey is complete. We have faced the 7 ghosts that haunt our senior health: the sugar bomb, the blue light, the comfort trap, loneliness, the forgotten roots, the shriveling brain, and the lazy brain disease. But we didn't stop there. We now hold 7 healing weapons, 7 seeds of hope for a clearer future. Remember, we are not victims of old age. We are the gardeners of our mental forests. Every small, daily choice is an act of cultivation. Was this video truly valuable to you? If yes, please leave me a comment with the number 1. If you weren't satisfied, please don't hesitate to leave a number 2. I am here to listen and to serve you better. But most importantly, before we end, I want you to do one last thing. Please write in the comments one single thing you learned and will apply this week. It could be, I will drink a glass of water every morning, or, I will call a friend. Let's turn the comments section of this video into a pledge, a promise from our community. Remember, your brain is listening to everything you do for it, starting today. Give it the future you deserve. Thank you.